I'm still surviving my 80s. This is Mary Ann. And good morning, Janet. I'm going to answer your question. You asked what kind of powder or where did I get it? Well, it was given to me by my daughter, and it came from Trader Joe's. Usually when I buy it from what we call, it's a co-op, a natural food co-op. It's not quite like Sprouts. Sprouts carries organic and non-organic and so forth. It's sort of a mixture in Sprouts. But the co-op is local vegetables, and everything in the store is on the organic side. Yes, they do have canned goods. They do have other stuff. They sell vitamins. They sell vegetables, they sell meat, they sell honey, they sell whole grains, all sorts of herbs and spices, and it's all organic. And I know that they buy, and I like to get my cocoa powder there actually, and I know they buy from either Mountain Rose Herbs Wholesale or Frontier, and so they get from good sources, and I really trust what they have. My wild caught salmon always comes from them. My pork, when I was eating it, came from them, and so it's a good place. And I don't know that, I know when we lived in Idaho, also there was a co-op there, and so you may have them where you are, I don't know. Okay, anyway, that answers that. And you want to make sure on this that it's really cocoa and not baker's chocolate or just a cocoa mix that you mix into milk. You want the real thing. Okay, enough of that. Now I want to thank Angelique, because she told me where she lived was similar to where the story Heidi was written about. And I had read it as a child, and I'd read it to my children, but now I'm wondering, when I read it this time, it was like the first time I'd read it, and I really enjoyed it. And Brenda, you said you were going to read it too. I hope you got it and read it. But there's a place in here that I just like to share because I thought it was so good. And Heidi and her doctor are talking. The doctor has lost his wife and a daughter, a really hard thing to go through. I don't think they happened at the same time, but it was still a blow to him. And he is struggling. And okay, I guess I'll start right here. Yes, that's really a good thought, child, observed the doctor. But what if makes you so very sad and miserable comes from him? What can you say to the dear Lord? Heidi had to think what might be done in such a case, but she was very certain that one should obtain help from the Lord for every sorrow. She sought a reply from her own experience. Then you must wait, she said after a while with assurance, and keep thinking. Surely now the dear Lord knows some joy which is to come out of this by and by. So I must be still for a little while and not run away from him. Then all at once it will happen, so that you will see quite clearly that the dear Lord had nothing but good in his mind all the time, just because you could not see it so at first. And I'll stop. Well, there's a little hymn that she reads to the grandmother that goes with this. "O trust his love to guide thee. He is a prince so wise that what his hands provide thee is wondrous in thine eyes. And he be willing, may bring the work about, and thus thy hopes fulfilling, dispel thy fear and doubt. It may be for a season, he will." Well, anyway, I'm going to stop right there. And then in the book of Job, Job said, well, shall I just thank the Lord for good and not the adversity that comes to us? So that was, I don't know, sort of uplifting to me. And just a good thought. But also when Angelique wrote about where she lives, she talked about being able to look out on a field, a mountainside just filled with beautiful wildflowers. And I want to tell you, when we lived in Idaho, we lived in several areas. We lived in the Palouse Prairie, which is Moscow, the Moscow area. We lived in what they call the hill country. We lived in the flatland. We lived, the last where we moved to here was called the plateau. Our elevation there was about 3,500 feet. And it was a nice place to live, but it was very different. Not a lot of trees, a lot of sky, beautiful sky, and a lot of mountain views that I could look out and see. And it was always funny, out my east kitchen window was West Mountain. But there has to be an east side to the mountains, even if they're called West Mountain. But we were in cattle country, and our neighbors in the summertime would have the cattle drive, would go past our place. And it was always a joy for me to go out and see it and wave them and cheer them on. And they would take their cattle way up into the high mountains. And they took us one day, and we spent the whole day there. And it was beautiful. And what I saw up there were mountainsides full of beautiful flowers that only the cattle and God could see. And it must have been quite high elevation, because at one point we could walk over and look down on the town of McCall, which has a higher elevation than we lived. And it was just like this little miniature play thing, you know, little houses and whatnot. And the lake, we could look down and see the lake. And so we were quite high elevation. I'm not sure how high. But it always impressed me, these flowers, these beautiful flowers. And also, I can remember how good the food tasted when we had lunch. And it was just a wonderful day. But it reminded me, and I can envision that in my mind. So that's my story for today. But I want to ask now that you would help me be responsible. I'm feeling a little bit better. I didn't wake up this morning in a pool of sweat, which is really good. That's been 2 mornings, not in a row, that's happened, but it's a good sign. I know that. And twice now I've been told 6 months. Well, I'm almost there. I think the start of August will be 6 months, so I don't feel quite like I'm going to keel over yet. So, but what I want, and yesterday I've done it twice, I want to do exercises. I want to get back, and I don't do, and it's with Jim and the hardiness approach, and it's in the course what I'm doing. I'm actually, yesterday I did Thursday of the first week, and I only do what I can do. And since I haven't done exercise in so long that it's really, I have to pick and choose. So I want to do that every other day until finally maybe I'll do it every day. But right now my goal is just every other day. So I'm gonna do it tomorrow because I did it yesterday. So on Saturday I'll do it, and then on Monday. But maybe if you could just say, have I done it? And I'll say yes or no, but I will. And the other thing is, there have been times when I haven't felt like going out. Last night I went out, and I know I need to go out more. And you know what? I went out and let the chickens out this morning. I think it's been a month or over since I was able to do that. And that just brought joy to my heart. So at least once a day, I want to get out. And I thought, Maria Louise, could you be the one to hold me responsible for that, since you are about my last person to comment? And so by then, and there's still daylight. If I haven't done it, I can still do it after your comment. So that's what I'm asking. And oh, another thing that's happened that's really nice, I'm going to get a real home health nurse come. And yesterday they came and they set it up. I signed the papers, and she should be calling pretty soon, and I think next week I'll see the nurse, and she is going to come once a week and just check up on me and see what I need and how I'm doing. And so that's where I'm at, and I hope you're having a good day, and thank you to my new subscribers. And oh, by the way, I want to say Jane is the one that called a crack that I made out of the chocolate. So it's her name, but I think it's such a cute name. So, and that was on, I don't know, on Tuesday's video. If you didn't see it, go back and look how to make crack.